My name is Audrey, and I used to think I was a good judge of character. I grew up with a small, tight-knit family. My parents, my younger brother Kyle, and me. We weren't perfect, but we were close. The kind of close where holidays were sacred and Sunday dinners were non-negotiable. We told each other everything. Or I thought we did. I'm 32 now, married. I have a beautiful 5-year-old daughter and a husband, Michael, who I trust more than anyone in this world. And thank God for that. Because if it hadn't been for Michael, my brother might have married a woman who didn't even exist. It started at a wedding, not ours, but someone else's. Kyle had been single for a while. He'd had one serious relationship in college, and after that, nothing really stuck. He was the nice guy everyone liked, but no one committed to. And then, almost out of nowhere, he brought someone new to a wedding we were all attending. Her name was Madison, and she was stunning. Not just in the way she looked, but in how she carried herself. Elegant, warm, confident. Like she was born to be part of our family. She complimented my mom's cooking, helped my dad carry chairs without being asked. She played with my daughter like she'd known her for years. And Kyle, I hadn't seen him this happy in maybe ever. They laughed together, whispered to each other. He looked at her like she was the air he breathed. After that weekend, things moved fast. Within a few months, they were engaged. At first, I thought it was sweet, romantic even. My brother had finally found someone who got him. But then little things started bothering me, like how Madison never talked about her past. She said her parents lived abroad, but she never said where. She said she had a sister, but never named her. She told stories, but they never had details, just pretty outlines and perfect timing. I'd ask, "What do your parents do?" And she'd smile and say, "Oh, they're in finance," which could mean anything. Still, I didn't push. I wanted to believe in love. I wanted my brother to have someone. But Michael, my husband, was more cautious. He's an accountant, a numbers guy. He doesn't go by feelings, he goes by facts. And something about Madison bothered him from the start. He said, "Audrey, she's too polished, like she's running a script." At first, I brushed it off, called him paranoid. But then I started noticing it too. Madison would change her phone number every couple of weeks. She always had a reason. "Oh, my service was terrible," or "I lost my phone again," or "someone kept calling from a weird number." Kyle just laughed it off, said she was unlucky with phones. But Michael said, "She's burning numbers. That's not normal." Still, I didn't want to cause drama. So I said nothing. The wedding date was set, invitations were sent. Madison planned everything with ease, like she'd done it 100 times before. Too easily. The way she talked to vendors, controlled, like a CEO giving orders, not a bride planning a celebration. My mom was thrilled. "She's so mature," she said. "Exactly what Kyle needs." But I couldn't shake it. That feeling, that tension, like a violin string pulled too tight. One night, a week before the wedding, Madison and I were having wine on the porch. Everyone else was inside. She turned to me and said, "You and Michael seem solid." I nodded. "Yeah, took us a while, but we're good." She smiled and sipped her wine. Then she said something that gave me chills. "You ever think about what people hide in relationships? Like, how well do we ever really know someone?" I blinked. She laughed it off, said it was just a shower thought, but something in her tone made my skin crawl. Michael pulled me aside that night. He said, "Babe, I know you don't want to hear this, but I need to look into her." I told him no, that it wasn't our business, that if Kyle was happy, we should leave it alone. He looked at me, calm, steady, and said, "Audrey, if this woman isn't who she says she is, then it's all our business." 2 nights later, Michael sat me down. He had a folder. Inside, 2 different social media accounts, both belonging to Madison. Same face, same voice, different names, different cities, different stories. One profile said she was an interior designer, another said she was a stylist, a third account, deleted but archived, showed her listed as a wellness coach. Michael said none of her degrees check out. The phone numbers are all prepaid burners, and the email she gave on the wedding registry was created 5 weeks ago. I couldn't breathe. My stomach dropped. My brother was about to marry a ghost. And worse, she wasn't just lying. She was playing us all.
The night Michael showed me the folder, I didn't sleep. I just laid there, staring at the ceiling, asking myself one question. If this is real, if everything she's told us is fake, then what the hell does she want? Because it wasn't just that Madison lied about her job or changed phones like outfits. It's that she had no traceable life beyond Kyle. No old friends, no childhood photos, no tagged posts. Just curated glimpses, like a character someone was building, not a person you could actually know. The next day, I told Michael to keep digging. If she had a secret, I needed to know before Kyle signed a marriage license and tied himself legally to a stranger. And that's when Michael, quietly, methodically, did what he does best. He followed the money. He started with the wedding fund. Kyle had set aside a decent amount, but Madison insisted on handling the transaction logs. Michael asked to see the transaction logs. Kyle said no, said Madison was handling it. That's when Michael got suspicious and dug through public records. And what he found? Madison, if that was even her name, had a pattern. 2 years ago, she was engaged to a man named Thomas in Connecticut. Same story. Whirlwind romance, charming family dinners, sudden engagement. She disappeared a week before the wedding, and so did $48,000 from the man's account. Before that, she went by Sabrina and lived in Dallas. A man filed a civil complaint against her, accusing her of manipulating him into a fake real estate deal. He claims she posed as a licensed agent. That case never went to court, but she disappeared again. New state, new name, new life. When Michael told me all of this, I felt nauseous. This wasn't just some woman with a shady past. This was a con artist, a professional, a woman who targeted men like my brother, men with kind hearts, simple routines, wealthy families. And it all clicked. My dad, of course. Our father had recently sold his business. He was sitting on over $3.4 million in retirement funds and properties. He loved Kyle more than anything. He always said, "Kyle's the one I trust to carry the family name." And Madison, she was positioning herself to inherit it all. That night, Michael contacted someone he knew, an old classmate of his who worked in a cybersecurity firm with ties to the FBI. He sent over what we had. 2 days later, he got a call. The agent didn't confirm much, but he did say one thing. "You're not the first people to raise flags on her." The wedding was now 5 days away, and I was suffocating with what I knew. I didn't know how to tell Kyle. He was in love. He looked at her like she was the answer to every question. How do you walk up to your brother and say, "Hey, the woman you're marrying may not actually exist, and if she does, she might be a felon"? But I had to try. I asked him to meet me for coffee. We sat down. I started soft. I said, "Do you ever wonder how well you know someone?" He laughed. "What is this, a podcast episode?" I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. Then I told him everything. The burner phones, the different names, the vanishing wedding in Connecticut, the FBI lead. And Kyle? He didn't scream. He didn't cry. He just sat there, completely still. Then he said, "No." I blinked. "No?" He shook his head. "She wouldn't do that. You don't know her." I said, "Kyle, voice cracking. "She's not who you think she is. You think because your husband found a few shady websites, you get to judge the woman I love? She's lied to you. No, she's private. She's been hurt before." I saw it right then. The way people protect their abusers, the way hope makes you blind. He was in love, and love, when manipulated, can make you defend a lie like it's truth. He left the coffee shop without hugging me. I sat there alone, heart pounding, and that's when I realized we weren't just racing the wedding, we were racing her. Because once the documents were signed, she'd have legal access to everything: Kyle's accounts, his inheritance, his insurance, and maybe even my parents. We had 4 days and one final plan to expose her before it was too late.
The day before the wedding, Michael told me everything was in place. The FBI had what they needed. Enough probable cause, enough patterns. Madison had slipped through the cracks before, but this time we had enough. But they needed one thing: a moment where she made a move, signed a contract, access to protected account, a trigger. Michael asked if I was sure I wanted to go through with this, that maybe it would break Kyle, that maybe it would ruin everything. I looked at him, tired, scared, desperate, and I said, if we don't stop her, she's going to ruin him anyway. The wedding was beautiful, stunning even. Lakeside, golden hour, candlelight and floral arches and imported linens, the kind of wedding people dream of, or influencers post for brand deals. Madison was glowing in white. My mother said she looked like royalty. My father raised a toast to Kyle and the woman who finally brought him back to life. Everyone clapped, everyone smiled, but I was shaking because I knew what was coming. They stood at the altar. The officiant read the vows. Madison slipped her hand into Kyle's, and in that moment, everything slowed down, and I saw it. The smile. Not the romantic, emotional kind. The smile of someone who thinks they've won. That was her mistake. Because just as the officiant asked for the rings, 3 people in suits stepped forward from the crowd. Quiet, calm, confident. FBI. One walked straight up to Madison, flashed a badge, and said, "Madison. Actually, let me correct that. Sarah Whitmore. We need to speak with you." The music stopped. The guests froze. Kyle looked at her confused. What's going on? She didn't answer. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just went still. And then slowly, like she had practiced it, she looked at Kyle and said, "I'm sorry." They escorted her out quietly. No cuffs yet, but enough to end the ceremony. Kyle stood at the altar, frozen. He didn't cry. Not at first. He just walked down the aisle, straight to me, and said, "I can't breathe," and walked out into the parking lot. I let him go. Sometimes grief needs silence first. 3 days passed before he called. When he finally did, he didn't want to talk about her. Not really. He just asked me if I remembered the blanket fort we used to build in the living room when we were kids. I said yes. Then he said, it was the only place I ever felt safe growing up, and I really thought she was that again. My heart broke, because he wasn't mourning the woman. He was mourning the feeling he thought she gave him, the home, the safety, the illusion. In the weeks that followed, the truth came out. Her name was Sarah Whitmore. She had 6 aliases,
3 unfiled lawsuits, and a sealed case in Florida still under review. She had never been married, but had faked 2 engagements for inheritance access. She'd studied psychology, but had no license. And the wedding? It was never about love. It was about access to Kyle, to my father, to our legacy. It took months, but Kyle came back, piece by piece. He moved in with our parents for a while, took time off work, saw a therapist. He stopped defending her, stopped rewriting history. He let the truth settle in. And one night he told me something I'll never forget. He said, "I didn't want to believe you, because if I believed you, it meant I was wrong about everything. But you told me anyway. You still tried to save me, even when I didn't want to be saved." I cried that night harder than I had in years, because in the end, that's what love really is. It's not just about who you hold on to. It's about who you refuse to let fall, even if they're falling away from you. Our family is closer now, not because of what happened, but because of what we survived. And Michael? He's still my rock, still the man who taught me that love can be gentle and fierce at the same time. And Kyle? He's still healing, but he's stronger, because the worst betrayal didn't destroy him, it revealed him.